Hey Cameron, this is Keaton Everett with ABC, going over your pitching video from camp. We're going to go through and talk about your motion and your delivery and sort of talk a little bit about each spot. We'll go through from there and break it down everything frame by frame. You're doing a really good job at your lower half. Lower half's really important, especially as you get older. That's where that velocity is going to come from. That's sort of the main driving force behind your mechanics. Is in that lower half, and you're doing real good at getting extension, getting down the hill. You're nice and balanced, and it's good to see at your age. It's pretty solid. So we'll go through and talk a little bit about more in depth about some improvements we can do. And so basically, right off the bat, the biggest thing we look at is your setup. So much of what happens here is going to dictate what happens down here, and so this is something that people don't really aren't aware of, don't really look at, and so just sort of to be aware of this is a lot of, a lot of things that you do wrong over here, are going to show up down here. A lot of fixes that are wrong down here can get fixed back here. All right, so we'll just kind of go back and look at everything. All right, the biggest thing that we look at is balance and posture. All right, you can see you're already loaded up over that backside, which is good. Now you want to make sure you stay back over there as you lift that leg. So everything's doing really good back here. All right. So here's the height of your leg kick. All right. Your hips are closed off, which is good. All right. Everything's solid. The one sort of red flag up here is your hands. All right. And so sort of if you want to try to, mechanics and pitching and consistency is all about repeating your delivery. So if you wanted to repeat something, you want to try to make it as efficient as you can. You want to try to make your movements as limited as you can. And so you can see from here, so if we're going to mark this, let's just mark this as the ball. And then as you start everything, you can see how that ball ends up down there. All right, so what can we do to sort of cut this distance right here to make it easier? All right, if you start up here, that ball path is going to be very hard to recreate. All right, it might come, here and then start out. It might come down lower and start out. It might come out really early. So just that whole distance is going to make it harder. So all the easiest fix is to drop those hands a little bit lower. All right, so that cuts that distance down. Now you sort of come and rest with your hands right here. Now it's just an easy out and up, out and up. You can repeat it every time, and so that makes it easier for you. All right, so now at this point, timing-wise, we want to see hips lead. We want to see hips stay closed as long as we can. They start, ball comes out, and this heel just kind of drags down, falls behind everything. All right, so you can see that you got the timing. The hands are breaking. All right, your hips are starting to go. We could probably see them starting to go a little bit more forward, but it's not too bad. All right, especially at your age, when you get older and get stronger, get a little bit easier to go. But part of the hips closed is, we want to try to see that foot, not get out so far with your hips. We want to try to see the hips stay closed longer. And so we just want to try to get those hips out, sort of lead everything down more than we're doing right here. All right. So, you're getting good extension, getting everything down. One of the things that will help out your upper body, help out your torque, is to key in on that glove. All right. So you can see how your glove kind of gets out here and just kind of stays curled up at this point here. All right, we don't want to ever flex or extend our wrist or supinate or pronate our wrist, turn into the side. We just want to try to keep that glove out over our front foot below our elbow. All right, and so that will kind of help us get even farther down. That'll help us stay closed longer, keep our shoulders closed longer before our hips start to turn. And you can see it looks like your foot hits the ground about right here. That's your foot strike. All right, at this point we want to try to see that elbow up a little bit higher and that glove out over that front foot right in this position. All right, and that will kind of keep your front shoulder closed, because torque, when you get older and stronger again, is the ability for your whoops, I accidentally erased that one, for your hips to start turning before your upper body. And you can see everything kind of goes at the same time, which, it's at your age, there's nothing wrong with that. That's how it's going to happen, because you just don't have that strength. But when you get older, the fact of having your glove out and keeping it out is going to help keep that shoulder closed longer to let those hips come through first, and then you can get that torque going. So again, it's not too bad you're getting pretty good at getting some extension, all right? But again, with that glove pulling out early, you're seeing this back foot pop up off the ground. All right, so if you're thinking about punching somebody, you want to punch somebody with 2 feet on the ground or with 1. You can get a lot more leverage, a lot more drive through that back foot. And same thing with pitching. We want to try to see that back foot. Oops, wrong tool there. We want to try to see that back foot, still on the ground somewhere here, and you're creating more of a triangle shape. You're getting that head and that chest down over that front foot a little bit more. But you're just driving through that back leg. All right, we still want to have 2 feet on the ground through that release point, and that will just show us that you're using your legs more. But again, for your age, it's really solid. Nothing to get down about. It's just something to be aware of. So once that strength comes, it's going to be easier for you. Just the biggest thing for you is let that glove work out, front shoulder close a little bit longer. Keep those hips closed longer, and just try to get in those legs a little bit longer too, so you're driving through that back leg, both feet on the ground as you're releasing, and you're going to be well on your way to improving throughout the years. So anyways, thanks for making out to camp. Hopefully you had a great time. Good luck this season, and hopefully we'll see you with ABC.